Hello and welcome to Healing Space with Gently Healing. I'm Jen Tilley and I am so grateful to be here with all of you guys. Again, I want to make note to Robert for putting together that beautiful music that we were listening to just now. It is really rad to hear other people's creations atop your own creations. And hello, Robert, you're here. Wonderful eve to all. Yes, I love you very much, and I'm so glad that you're here. And Erin, I love you, and I'm glad to see you in here. This is it's very exciting to be able to come and do this show every day. It's kind of funny because sometimes I kind of get what you would say like the pre-show jitters, and I take these deep breaths, and it's more of just like the excitement of just doing this and doing something that I love and sharing with all of you guys something that I'm absolutely passionate about, and that's healing. And that healing began with myself and continues with myself, and then it just expands out into my external reality so that I can share with you what I've done so far and to let you know that you're not alone. And I love you and I see you, and that we're all in this together. And I want to say kudos to each one of you that show up here every day, or maybe this is your first time tuning in. We're among the 1%. We're on that curve where we're doing this self work that not a whole lot of people out there are currently doing. And we're magnets, man. So we're coming together all in the same space, and it's awesome, and I love it. And it just fills me with such excitement. And I really like that pre-show jitters is more. I just feel that energy coming, and it's very awesome. Very. So Aaron says, yes, it's so good. I would totally agree. I would say if we were going down the good or bad aspect of things, I would say that this world currently where I reside within this space is on that very good swing, and not even swing, just good point of what I've been working for a long time building. So, yes. Hi, Sammy. Hi. How are you feeling today? I've been thinking about you and sending you lots of love. Some of the things that I want to talk about today, and we'll get into it, is how I've learned to balance myself, and what the journey really, in the best way I'll be able to describe with my words has actually looked like, navigating the shadows to being able to also navigate the light. It's kind of like the monsters under the bed, and you got to look. It's best to grab the flashlight and see that the monsters might have been there all along, but you're bigger and more powerful than they, and you learn how to love them. Yeah. So, hello. Much love to you and everyone. I meant Robert, your music is so good, but what you said works too. Yes, I would agree, Robert. Your music is so good and I love it. And I'm so, again, so grateful. I've been having a lazy day and I feel a bit better for it. Thank you. Good. I like to bring up the fact that, yes, we are doing the work, and sometimes dialing it back. Less is more. It will go so much farther in this life. And if there is a point that your body is saying, hey, we are recuperating, we're recovering, and it is time to rest, you listen. If you're finding that you're more in a depressed state and you're moping around and all you want to do is be lazy and sleeping, maybe you should think about that and see how you could change that perspective. Each situation of your now is how you navigate that and how you know that. And when you are choosing to be in that more lazy state is it can be very, very helpful. So good. I am glad that you're feeling a bit better. That is awesome. And I'm glad that you're back in here today. Yeah, man, I guess I'll just like jump right in. Today, we're going to be doing like a rooting meditation with one another. and also bringing in, the different animals and critters that will help us along this journey so that we can stay grounded. We're also going to be talking about the fact that it's a half moon. And with that, it comes the truth of the balance. You have half the power of the light of the moon and half the power of the dark. And that is truly a position that we all reside. So the help of the moon is at like half, and the rest is you, man. And so we're going to pull in the balance of that and what that centering point looks like. So that is exciting. I need to rest, and I'm listening to me. Yes, Sammy, I love it. I put my foot down so it was possible. Good. Maybe put both your feet down so that they can be rooted and grounded with that decision, because I love it. Stand tall within that space, or lie down if that's the case, but lay down tall, Yeah, I love that. And honestly, like resting, like when you lie down on your back, it's giving your mind that rest too, because when you're standing, though you don't experience it, it's navigating having to hold yourself upright in this space. So it's actually working. It's working at a different pace that it would have to if you were just lying down. It wouldn't have to find that balancing point. So you can balance yourself while you are lying down instead of, I'm hesitating to say the word gravity, because I don't believe that we live in gravity. Based off of my own research, I'm pretty sure that we live in a fluid, and that we're atop a magnet based off of my research. So gravity is an interesting thing that we are, balancing in the space. Sammy, you said Blackbird sung the most beautiful song to me this morning. He has been around a lot at the moment. That is so awesome and so wonderful. And I love, the blackbird and the song of the blackbird. And even with our meditations yesterday, I don't know if you have ravens in England there with you, Sammy, or if I think crows and or ravens are pretty much really many places in the world. But I would be interested to hear if in England you actually have ravens, because it's like that smaller version of the raven, as we called that in yesterday. It's just the blackness of the void, and that's what we're learning to navigate, and also navigate our shadows. And so I think it's a very appropriate bird that is coming into your reality. And again, with your blackbird, I would be interested to hear there in England if it is like the blackbird we have here that has a bit of red and yellow on its wings as well, or if it's just fully black. So anyway, you do have both raven and crow. Okay. All right. Well, the blackbird definitely has its own symbolic meaning, which let's just take a gander. Bird, animal, totem. If I could type. As a totem, blackbird has an extraordinary meaning. Blackbirds represent knowledge. They are carriers of intelligence and quick wit. I like that. So everybody born under this totem, or everyone with a blackbird as a spiritual animal, has a big possibility of being extremely smart and intelligent. Blackbirds also represent intuition. Oh, what an awesome medicine, Sammy, that is come into your reality and now into all of ours. It is the beautiful amount of that intelligence and intuition to be able to navigate this reality. How cool. We don't get many ravens around here, but crow pops up by now and again. Cool. Blackbirds are all black with a yellow beak. Okay. All right. That is really great, and really getting into that intuition that bird represents. It's not surprising, because you get that gut instinct, for example, and the yellow of the solar plexus would be what would be coming into that, and that is what cool medicine. Thank you for sharing that. So. So today's episode, definitely going to be about rooting, definitely about balance. I definitely have felt very moved to talk about the shadow work a lot. I think with the 6 planets, not all 6 are fully in retrograde at this point, but the power of the astrological alignments right now, us being in Gemini, balancing the twins and the dualistic aspects of our personality, the 2 faces. We are pulling off the masks. So, as I said yesterday, and I stand with this, is that I'm not here to sugarcoat this process. It's just a necessary process in order for us to pull out of the situations that we're in now. If we are in this space and trying to find healing, it is a reason that we're probably sick and tired of being where we're at. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That was a thing I used to say a lot when I was in the fitness industry, is that a lot of people that would start their workout programs were the fact that they were sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I think that just kind of goes across the board. The other quote that I like, though, easy, hard is a perspective, but I never said it would be easy. I only said it would be worth it. I would say again that for myself and where I sit, and to speak to that for even me, is that I'm extremely proud of myself and the work that I have put in on a daily and hourly and moment basis within my life. And I am very grateful for each and every person that is in this space. It took a lot of belief, if you will, to be able to get here. But starting out the journey is where I probably would like to begin. And I would say that some of the most powerful changes that I decided to make in my life, there's key factors. I was told at a very young age that I was going to save lives someday. The most important life that I've ever saved so far, and on a continual basis do, is my own. And what does it mean to save lives? Because the reality is that I've come to the understanding that only you and you alone can save your life. However, there is a magnitude and multitude of information at our fingertips, and at any point we can tap into that information. If we clear out our spaces, we can tap into any of the Akashic records. When we pull in animal medicines, for example, i.e. the whale holds the all the wisdom and all the information of the world. It's the oldest serpent of the planet. And when you get farther into esoteric symbolisms and the serpent, and into more psychedelic spaces, or work with indigenous tribes, or even look at the medical caucus staff, you'll see that snakes are everywhere. The whale is among the snake. And it is, like I said, the serpent of the sea. And if we live in a fluid and it once walked on land, I mean, there's a lot to be said there. So in beginning my journey, I have always been on a journey for seeking knowledge and information. This is one of my greatest totems. Not greatest, I mean, I think they all come with each one, but it is one that I am very grateful for, the whale. With that, starting at a very young age, it started with religion, and then the study into religion, and also ending my relationship with the Mormon religion. And by the time I was 16, that was a very scary endeavor for me, since since I was told that I would not be at the highest points of heaven, and also that I would not be with my family. And these things are what would be perceivably the most important aspects in my life. But I dared to believe, and I dared to believe in myself. And the way that I did that was through research. I had studied the religion deeply and came to the belief based off of many facts and information that I had found that I just did not believe. For whatever reasons, don't have to get into it. If you'd like to know more information, perhaps at later points I'll share on that. I then got deep into the study of Shakespeare. Shakespeare, I feel, is a very important, and there's reasons why Shakespeare is still very prevalent in our reality today. And Shakespeare, again, is a pen name. So the deeper you study into that, the more you will find, and links with other things like John Dee. I have never stopped studying. I think it's important for us to continue to learn. And that's why I say, listen to what I say, but don't believe anything I say without you going and doing your own research. This is for you. You find your truth. And through that, you might find that you mirror many things that I share with you here. So I am very grateful for that journey and that process. I then, got very into theater for a lot of my teenage years and into my first bits of college. And I am grateful for those platforms, fitness industries, working very much into trying to build my life based off of what the world told me would make me happy. Getting the big house, getting the white picket fence, having a family, all of these aspects, bumping elbows with the most wealthies of wealthies. I have done this. And I will tell you that I did not find that soul happiness that I had always been searching for and craving. In fact, when I lived that quote unquote fairy tale lifestyle, it was the most I ever felt like I was dead. And that's why I say, and I encourage you to go back and look at my pictures. I think I've been on Facebook since 2007. Pictures tell 1,000 words to see this journey. So there was the aspect of then also drinking a lot and then breaking away from that and finding the strength to stop. Looking at habits and habituations. I then got very into AA. And again, I say be very careful with anything that's going to tell you you are going to die without it. And also anything that is putting things into your external reality. All of these aspects, I feel like, build such a platform for the strength that it took me to dare to believe more in myself. When I first met Zach, I would tell you that a lot of myself had depersonalized from the world without realizing I had depersonalized. I had been enacting what I believed were acts of love, but they were really acts of self-desperation and asking everyone else to create the self-esteem that I desperately needed to create for myself. I am very, very, like I said, grateful for the people that are in my life. And I have somebody that constantly challenges me in ways that has me look at myself and not avoid myself as much as I think when you do the shadow work, you find that you just want to break or you want to reprieve. And one of the greatest things that I have learned is that the idea of a break does not exist. It is not real. It is a false reality. So there's a difference of, saying I'm lazy today as opposed to, hey, I'm going to just take a break. So like even on the aspects when you sit there, even in like meditations and trying to silence your mind, you're not taking a break in that moment. When you're doing any kinds of activities, even just trying to tabula rasa out, your mind still is trying to be active. When you're sleeping, you're in a very active state. So it just isn't a real thing. So it is breaking the lies that we are telling ourselves and constantly having the courage to keep picking yourself up and going on. When I really, it was like I met Zach, and then it was ayahuasca. Like some my friends had come to stay with me, and they brought up the medicine ayahuasca, and I had never heard of it. I was still a very active AA member, so any kind of psychedelic medicines out there were just kind of out of the question. But again, I had done something in my life that said, always question what it is you believe, and then question some more, and then come back and question again. And so when I heard about ayahuasca, I decided to do the research, and I found that right away I knew that I needed to make my ways to Peru, to the jungles, and work with this medicine. That I was in a state where I was in a program that was telling me to dig on myself, but really not to include myself. It was like an external of all the people that I was hurting, and to see my part in it, but not to the magnitude that I needed to look at me. And I knew that was missing. Why was it that I hated on myself so much? And it was really, I had done this fourth step in Alcoholics Anonymous, which says, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself. And normally you just do this step with their sponsor, but I was working with this group of women, and we decided that we would all do the fourth step and present it. And I had done the work, and I finally, like, I felt like I had nailed it, like where I wrote everything out, did it so hard, and I sat there and I read my fourth step in front of all of these women, and they turned around and then it was like, once I was done, I was like, yeah, I did it, you know, and now here I am. And literally it was like all those women's jaws were just on the floor, and those one woman's just looked at me and she said, oh, your poor little brain. And she's like, not your little brain. And all of a sudden she got defensive on it because I had literally demolished myself, self-mutilated myself, blamed myself for absolutely everything that had existed there. And granted, it's no one else but you, but I mean, like, demolished myself in not kind ways. And how is it that I could have been part of this program for something like 3.5 years at this point, and been in a position that I knew nothing of self-love? And so when it was probably 2 weeks later, ayahuasca came in, and I just had to continue to follow my heart. And this led me to the greatest adventure of my life. And it was scary because right before I went to Peru, I had a dream that I was going to die, literally die, and not come back. And I was very scared. And I reached out to 2 of my closest friends in a desperate plea at night. None of them answered. In fact, none of them called me back. None of them even talked about this with me afterwards. And it made me, and especially reflecting back on how much I had illusioned myself on the people that had been in my life. And what I really wanted and created. I went and spent time in Peru. I dug on myself, and sure enough, right after Zach had professed his love for the first time, most amazing love story at the top of Huayna Picchu overlooking Machu Picchu. It was the most romantic moment of my life. And then we climbed down after that and went and looked at the Temple de la Luna, and I saw this little fly that had landed on my hand, and I remember it perfectly. It was this little yellow fly with bright red eyes, and I'm just silly with creatures where I was like, oh man, you're so cute. And I let it hang out on me for quite a while, you guys. And I did not realize that this fly was what was about to bring the death of me and severe fever. But when you go to the jungles, I will tell you, I don't think you ever come out the same person. It's a whole living being, and it was the most heroic journey of my life, and one of the most tumultuous hikes of my life, climbing up from the Temple de la Luna, and I ended up within hours of getting back to where we were staying, I broke out with a fever over 106, and then we made our way to Cusco, knowing that within the 24 hours we were on our way to the jungle. And within this time in Cusco, I ended up collapsing and stopped breathing. My heart stopped. Zach worked on the resuscitating me. And I left my body. I saw the experience very much like people talked about, where I went into the dark space. I saw the light, which was more like almost like a sun that I was like floating up and towards. I saw myself as almost like a small doll-like creature floating up. And I also recognized that I was observing myself as this small, like an insignificant little thing. I also observed and felt myself as this doll floating up, seeing the sun. And I also heard this profound voice, a woman's voice, which was my own, telling me exactly what was happening, walking me through the stages of my death, that once I would get to this light, that would be it, and there would be no coming back. And then whatever else that she had to share with me about my life, and it's, wrapping up. And so once I got to that light, I screamed it with all my might, not with my physical body, but within this space, no, I want to live. And this was one of the most powerful moments of my life, because it was visibly a choice. And as I screamed it with all of my might is when I woke up, and that's when Zach was resuscitating me. And instead of being like many people would, go to the hospital, holy crap, something is not right here, I would say I knew without a doubt I needed to get to the jungle, that my answers were at the jungle and not at the hospital. And my first initial Kundalini awakening happened pretty directly after that, where I experienced the snake going up my spine. and the change that then would proceed. I literally crawled my way to the airport, have no idea how or why they let me on the plane, being as sick as I was. Grateful that I had the level of invisibility needed to get there. I flew into Lima, spent 16 hours on the airport floor waiting for the next flight to get me into the jungle. Once I was in the jungle, much healing transpired. I forgot completely that I had just almost died, and my life changed. I knew that I needed to let go of so many aspects, kill my fairy tale, felt my first heart awakening, and that my heart had wings, had profound experiences. So grateful for the Shipibo tribe. So again, I will give and ask for any help that anyone that is listening, if you would like to help or donate to the Shipibo tribe that need our assistance. It's only $4.50 to pay for an entire family. I have 100 families I'm currently working on supporting, and it's literally rice and beans and medicines that are necessary for the village. So 100 families, $450 a month. We made it last month. We're on our way this month, and I'm so grateful for all of you that have already donated. And again, 50 cents even goes so far there. They have a deep understanding of how to work with medicines, and I am like plant medicines and animal medicines at a level that it's very, very grateful that this world has. So anyway, once I came home from Peru, I would say that what I found was the habituation of what I had created in my life. This is an important factor. I talk about how all of our cells are doing what, like they're just working for us, but we have habits that we create. So when I came home and jumped right back into my life, going to like 2 AA meetings a day, and then I was doing some other thing with theater and doing lots of work and working with a bunch of like I was putting all of this external reality to my life, caretaking all over the place. And yet I knew internally inside myself that this had to change, that everything that I had been doing in my life before had led me straight to my death, and that most of the people that I had in my life were not on this same path. So a lot of my journey looked like a massive magnitude of destruction. This is hard on the psyche. Within a year's time, AA was no longer in the picture, but again, I kept digging and I kept saying, why? I want to find this. And I did. I did the research the same way I had done with the other religion, where I had found that this program was not what they had said, that it had not been created by Bill W. and Dr. Bob, that it was actually made by Aleister Crowley, that it was a very magical program. Also, it included the words of Shakespeare, all the world's a stage and we're merely just players. There is very good information I gleaned from doing the 12 steps. However, I would find that there are many aspects that were missing. Aleister Crowley's daughter was actually the original alcoholic. Also, if you dig deeper, John D. Rockefeller also had a big part. The Oxford group had a big part in creating this program. So you have the Masonic, you have the name John D, which is also another very magical name. If you do your research into John D, that is a very fascinating subject as well. Everything that I did was to be able to allow me to stand in my truth so that I knew the next indicated right step. So I journeyed on. I also found that like the Bill W. in the Alcoholics Anonymous program did not find sobriety until he worked with a program that was taking acid. So psychedelics were a big part to the sobriety, though it was quieted and not really talked about, other than being said that if you do these meditations, you will be rocketed into the fourth dimension. I then rocketed myself into what was said fourth dimension and transcended myself out of identifying as an alcoholic. When you have a duality and operate in this world, you're still identifying as the alcoholic and still worshiping, and therefore keeping you on a worship of alcohol. And I would say that alcohol is a very excellent medicine. It taught me a lot of things about my life and myself, and I have a deep respect for it. It is a very masculine spirit, which makes it sometimes more difficult for women to navigate when it comes to alcohol. But alcohol is there to bring out the things that we are repressing. So anyway, journeying on, these were big pivotal parts of my life, but it was a lot of the deep self-work. And then having Zach come in, as I was saying, it was very interesting because he is literally the most brilliant man that I have ever met, both in mind, body, and spirit. And very much feels like he's not from this planet at most times. But I am grateful for having the teachers that I do in my reality that constantly challenge me to be the best version of myself. I want to share that with you guys. I am here to help and learn how to navigate the shadows. Zach was not afraid of ever navigating the shadows. In fact, he loved all of it on all sides. And I learned how important it was to love yourself in all places. As I went on in my life with my relationships, I externalized it where I was taking care of everyone but myself and also not nurturing the relationships, such as my relationship with Zach. I was out there trying to save my sponsor who was dying, save my sponsees that were dying, save all of these people and not myself, and not nurturing the things that were closest and dearest to me. I had my reflective mirrors that allowed me to place myself where I am. So with that, there was this journey where I had been helping my sponsor. She was going through her second bout of cancer. The first one we had healed. But when you don't do that self-work, it comes back. She ended up coming back with a dual cancer, which is not common to have two cancers at once. But how is it that a woman with 15 years of sobriety, I was looking at, could be at this kind of psychological position at the end of her life? And I did not want to be like that. But I knew that this was a reflective path that I could go down, and that the most important life I would have to then save was my own. It was the hardest thing at this point of my life to tell somebody that I knew that was going to die. I saw it. I have where I get visions and I can see, and I experienced this woman dying, and I was there with her, and I was the last person she wanted to see, and I was in the last place I wanted to be, and that was not how I wanted this to go down. And why was I placing myself in these positions? And so I then made a deal with the universe that I would choose me. And I am telling you, the universe is listening, and it will create it. And our words are very magical. I then went on to say, I want to go fast. Be careful what you wish for, because then my journey began where it just exploded. Leaving AA was very, very difficult for me. I literally, like I talked about, I had a major addiction to oxytocin. I was getting between 30 to 60 hugs a day, having that kind of level of social interaction, to then not having any of that. In fact, that was, a very difficult thing for me. I had a lot of blame. And I do not feel this way now. I love and honor people that helped me along this journey. But why was it that all these people that I had cared for, loved, dedicated my life, was not picking up the phone, calling and reaching out to me? What is it that I had done that created this for my life? And I know today that those people and that no one could have journeyed this journey with me but myself. And so I then had where I had told my sponsor, nope, I cannot help you anymore. I must help myself. This was 2 weeks after I had done my first combo sessions. I think I had completed all 3 within the new moon cycle by the time I was just having the beginning stages of an awakening. I also felt this really weird experience, you guys, where I felt this like reverse punch that happened within my gut. I had just been laying down and meditating, and I had gotten up, and it was like somebody had punched me from the inside and just released this part of my solar plexus. With other healers I'd worked with, they had worked on my stomach, and it's like, gosh, it feels like somebody had punched you in your stomach and you just went, oh, and you got stuck there. So it was very, very ironic when it had ended up happening where it was like it felt this reverse punch and it released. And it felt like I was this mummy where like this dust just like came out of my mouth. It was a profound physical experience as I started doing this work. It was like I had released something that had been there for thousands and thousands of years. And this is that DNA, like you start to, like all of these parts of ourself from our past lives or past experiences still exist within us today, and that's what we are also healing. I went on, so having the combo sessions, telling my sponsor I could no longer help her, seeing profound healing as well. I had a dog at the time. She's since passed, but she passed at 16 and she was a big pit bull, so she lived a very long life. But Sasha at this time had this giant tumor on her side. I told my sponsor, I can't help you. I have this dog I love and care about, and the tumor literally was all on her side, distended her body. And I spent the next 3 days of my life while I was just trying to figure out what I was doing. And I just massaged, did energy work, and chanted the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which is the Lotus Sutra. Sutras are very, very powerful things and can bring about massive change within our lives. And I hope to, well, as part of this, we'll go on and talk more about those mantras and sutras that are out there on ones that can help you with your journey. But for the 3 days, I meditated over Sasha and created realities of just love, no pain for her. And from there, after the third day, Sasha no longer had her tumor. We ended up taking her to the beach, and she was trotting on the beach by the fourth day and fully recovered within, well, pretty much in those times, within just days. And I found how amazing and profound it was of healers that not only I was, but others, and that this also needed to be the work that I did on myself. At this time, I also had realized how little attention that I had paid to a relationship that I loved very much. And I made decisions to be able to let previous relationships go in order to nurture my own. And what I mean by that is when I first got together with Zach, I had come from a previous relationship where there had been infidelity. And I also knew that it was possible to love more than one person at one time. I had had somebody in my life from before that was kind of that first love, and I had had him taken from my life and sent away when I was sent away at 16. And anyway, I had loved him for a very long time. We had remained friends for a very long time. And so when I got together with Zach, I just said, I don't know what any of this means. I know that I'm on a journey to heal. I know that a lot of relationships have a problem with monogamy. I'm in the process of questioning everything that I believe. While I had been taking care of my sponsor, Zach was just doing the work. He innocently met somebody on a basis, and he ended up falling in love with somebody else. Not that he was no longer in love with me. It was just this platform and relationship that we had opened up. I am in my first stages of just this profound amount of awakening. And this man that I loved very much was asking, can we do something like, and here's a label, and I do not label my relationships, is polyamory, which means you have more than one that you love in your relationship. And at first I was like, oh no, I just have way too much work to still do on these previous ones. But as his relationship kind of went on, and it was developing farther, Zach and I made the decision that limiting love should not be part of this process. And you have no idea what other people are about to help you learn and help the other person learn. And so many people in my life, by even making this decision, did not understand and felt very much that I should have terminated this relationship and gone on. But every part of my core said no. And it was also questioning everything that I believed. All of the problems that I found internally that I had with that was my own. Not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not being number one, not all of these aspects. And the more I looked at them, I could see each one of those emotions had nothing to do with Zach, that he loved me to a magnitude I had never even conceived before. And all of my issues were from previous things, my daddy issues, my mom issues, my previous things of abandonment, that this was going to be my most important aspect of healing myself. I went through a profound amount of jealousy, a profound amount of just self-hatred, self-demolishing acts, and led me to the deepest depression. That, again, no matter how loved I was, I could not experience it until I learned how to do it for myself. When I asked to go fast, next thing I know, I decide I need to sell everything I own. I'm seeing that I'm externalizing all of my securities, and all I can feel on my inside is insecurity. So that needs to change. That is a hard process in and of itself when you're packing up an entire life and choosing what is going to go with you and what is not. What I didn't realize when I said to the universe pretty much is, you can have it all. Again, careful with your words, because there was certain aspects that I didn't want to lose or get rid of. And I wouldn't say at this point it's a loss, but in the times I felt very much like it was a loss. Let's see. I just was at a point where I'd sold everything. And then I had my call from one of my dearest friends, Eric. And it was very much one of those phone calls that I knew he was going to die. I gotta drink some water. Throat chakras. I had an opportunity to tell my best friend everything that I'd want to tell him before he died. He was a badass and he was a rock star, and I cared about him, and he taught me so much. And I'm grateful that he was there in my life. A lot of times I wish he was still here and part of this journey, but the truth is he visits me all the time and is still very much a part of this journey. We don't really go anywhere, guys, and I definitely feel that. So right after Eric died, and I was really riddled in so much fear, as I have talked about in the past, is that I had a lot of fear of everything. And I was about to take all of the external securities and throw them out the window. Eric died. 3 days later, I began to have the non-epileptic seizures. And they came at a magnitude of 1 to 7 a day for the next 3.5 months of my life. I now am out of my place. I'm on the road learning this gypsy life with Zach, and I'm grateful that he was there. 2 weeks into the journey, I had a cat, a dog. Zach had 2 dogs, so we had 3 dogs and a cat. The 2 dogs ended up killing my cat within 2 weeks on the journey. That was devastating. I did not mean for that to happen, but I know that my cat couldn't be part of this journey, though he's very much always been a part of this journey. But it was devastating. I then had my sponsor officially die that I had said I couldn't help. I quit the schooling program that I had invested a lot of time, money, energy, even identity with. It was 3 years of my life that I had dedicated to learning that, and I knew that I knew that I had learned what I needed to from the program, and that there was much of it that was missing. Again, building my truth and my platform on it, that the decision of leaving it was actually based off of what I needed to do, but literally it was a very, very hard thing for me to go through. I then, right after that, had my dog Sophie get kidnapped. At that point, I ended up not speaking for an entire week. I found that my words were very magical. I became very afraid of speaking. At that point, I broke down, finally went to the hospital, and I'm so grateful the hospital did not admit me. They just said this is what grief can do. The depression and the seizures were all of my own making. Every time I had jealousy, every time I had these sick behaviors that went with it, jealousy, anger, certain emotions are like putting on those emotional lenses. It is like taking 6 to 8 drinks of alcohol and being that drunk without imbibing the alcohol. I was very resentful for a very long time because it was like, oh, wait, I kept blaming alcohol this whole time, and I realized it was always me. It was always me, guys. And it's same for when we're doing these shadows. I stopped talking to my family. My family couldn't understand what I was going through. They said and thought that I had said, or rumors abounded, that that I never wanted to talk to them again, and it wasn't true. I found that I wanted to blame my father for all of these things. Many of my actions and behaviors resembled that of what I would have told you my crazy stepmothers did. I embodied every one of these people that I had resentments for. I acted like them, and it was ugly, and it was not pretty, and it was frustrating. And this is when I say it was finding ways to tame the shrew. I could not believe that I could have been those people, but they were always me. They were always showing me things that resided within me that needed healing. I found that with all the magnitudes of shadows, whether it comes to the rapists or the Hitlers or the crazy psychotic stepmothers or the loving, amazing stepmothers or the amazing, loving fathers, all of the spectrums, all of the extremes was me. It was a level of love and compassion that was part of the journey and the building. But it was very much a solo journey. I completely depersonalized from the world, did not know how to love, and I had to figure that out. And that started with me. Then it went to my dogs, and then it went to humans, and animals and critters were definitely part of the all of that in there, and the world. My whole reality changed. There were days that it was very hard. And when you talk about shame and guilt, no, I'm not shameful and I'm not guilty for how I acted or I treated anybody at those times. I couldn't do it any other way. It's how I treated myself. I hated myself. I demolished myself. And because of that, talking about the habituations, talking about my cellular structure, that's what I had created. And in order to change that was simply, like I talk about depression, coughing. Coughing emits the same kind of chemicals in the body as laughing does. So waking up and coughing because I couldn't find the laughter. I didn't shower for a month. I didn't brush my teeth for a month. I was devastated. I was depressed beyond depressed. But I picked myself up and I pulled myself out without any of the medications that the world would have told me I needed to take, save certain plant medications that I talk about. There was a 6-week period that I used psilocybin. There was marijuana that I used within that space. I went to the jungles and used ayahuasca years earlier. I really began to know that when these medicines came into my life, there was a reason for it. And I'm grateful that those tools were at our fingertips. Psilocybin is very fascinating, or mushrooms are very fascinating because they're the closest thing genetically to us that exists on the planet. Weird. Why is that? So I want to talk about the shadows, especially when we're in here learning to balance ourselves, to show up as the best versions of ourselves, to love ourselves exactly where we are. It is okay if you are not happy right at this moment. These are the things that we are affecting change. Dwelling on the past, dwelling on the shit that happened to us before is not part of this. Going and getting yourself back, going and getting the power back, or not even back. You've had it all along. Just stop giving it away. It is time to ignite you, and that exists inside of you. And so learning to stop, like one of the things I did, it was so addictive. I'll tell on myself, I have nothing to hide, guys. I would read Zach's messages, total freaking violation. And I was said years earlier that I would have never been that person. I had an ex that used to do that to me, and it was frustrating and devastating. And he would misinterpret things I would say and blow it out of proportion and do all of this. And next thing I know, I was doing it, and I was drinking it like alcohol. If I had read one of Zach's messages, I would have a seizure for sure that day. It was no one else doing it. It was me. It was me. And I had to stop. I had to put it down. And I had to then show not just self-love, but love for those that were in my reality. And it easy? I don't know. Hard? I don't know. Whatever one you want to put on that. None of it. Like, it wasn't hard and it wasn't easy. It was something I did. And I saw the importance of it. So whether you find yourself acting like your mother in her craziest times, or your sibling that you just absolutely hated, man, that's part of it. They were showing you something. This is how we heal those things. And that's okay, exactly where you are. This is part of the 1%, guys, doing the shadow work and then doing the light work too. It's finding the balance of all of those sides. And it all works out and it all resolves. Zach's relationship with this other person was never in actual, like it was, she lived in another country. So they never actually met. And, but I acted in my life as if that was happening and going to happen. And I was going to heal myself, even though, certain friends that were around like, oh, that's never going to happen, trying to help me out. And I'm like, no, man, I want to make sure that I am the best version of myself, and I will love that woman and I will care about that woman. I don't care at any cost, not at any cost. I will only know how to do that because I learned how to love myself. And I will forgive myself for the transgressions that I did. And I will love that person for the transgressions that perhaps were perceived that happened in that space. And the fact is I did. I did. And the moment that happened, I'll tell you, she's not here anymore. And I'm sad because I love her. And I built this beautiful rose whole thing. And I will always love and care about her. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what she taught me and the horrific things that I had to go through. She did me a favor. And at the same time, I don't limit my love, no matter what the world tells me. And I would say that it's hard to have more than one relationship, and more than one relationship with yourself. Like the divine union is really with you, and carrying like the things that the other person does. You have no idea what they're learning. And I look at Zach today and I'm like, holy crap, I am grateful. I am grateful. And so I share this and I share my story. There's way more that goes into that. Learning to stop having those seizures, stop the behavior, start learning how to show kindness, repersonalizing to the world, learning how to love in a healthy manner, how to not be depressed, how to not be suicidal, how to not be these negative aspects, but also be those negative aspects and love myself and not have to do them. I don't have to do that anymore. And this is that learning how to balance the emotional lenses. So when you have emotions that come, yes, honor those emotions. But the very next step needs to be the logic, needs to be the thinking. Is this logical? And if it is, then what is that next feeling step? What is that next intuitive step? This is how you learn to navigate. It is a mechanic. I say it's important to journal, to watch your astrology and see what's happening out there. All of the answers and the animals that are around are all conspiring for you to have the answers of what are the next indicated things coming, and how to create. The past is done, and taking your power back from those spaces, not blaming anyone for anything. Like what happened to me when I was 16, I'm the only one that's hurting me about it today if I'm holding on to it, not them. It's already done. It's already done. And then if let's say it was a perceived abuse, I don't want to give them power. I don't want them to have that in my life. No way. No way. I need that energy. I want that energy. I don't want to share that. I just want to spread love. I just want to spread love and create that. There's nothing better than watching somebody fall in love with something. There is no greater feeling. And maybe that something, falling in love with something, is falling in love with you. What an amazing world that would be. And shadows and lights, I mean, the whole thing is transcending. You're neither the shadow nor the light. You're neither the parent that acted a fool. But you are all of those things, all simultaneously at the same time, and it's just you that makes the decision of who you want to be in that moment. And the actions that we make are what conjuncts us into that space. This is why you have numbers like 0, the alpha omega. This is you. This is a reality. This is the void where anything is possible. You have then the thought, and the thought comes in. This creates the 1. That thought, whether you enact it or not, has now been created into the reality. So some of those thoughts can go into the subconscious, unconscious mind, will have the ability to end up playing its way out because you have created it. Or you have the ability to destroy it and go back to the 0. But when you have this one thought, you then have the decision to then create it farther, to then bring it into your 3-dimensional reality. And when you create it into your 3-dimensional reality is when you've actually taken action. So you can have the thought. Do you allow it to grow? Do you then put it into your 3-dimensional reality? Are you going to act like the fool, or are you going to act with the love and kindness? And then whatever that decision is, 4 is the conjunction. If you look at the fact of the cross, or all of the symbols that are there, or alchemy, you have the center point of that cross is where that Z pinch is. That is where everything happens into your reality. In that Z pinch creates then the spin of the spiral of the fractalization of the reality of the 5 phi ratio, and 5 being that 5-pointed star that we talk about. But you're more than that 5-pointed star. You get into the next level of the sacred geometry, which then is going to be the 6-pointed star, which is the Star of David. Why is that used? This is a spiritual version of yourself. When you go into the 3-dimensional, 4, 5, 6 happens very quickly. The 6-pointed star, you take this as you hold yourself out and you look at yourself. The world's like, oh, you're a star, you're a star. You're more than that, you guys. So you have the 6-pointed star, and again, when you it's easier to think when you stand there as a 5-pointed star. But the 6-pointed star, you're forgetting about the sex organ. And then it's very easy to jump to 12, because when you're at that 6-pointed star, you're also the the metaphysical reality, the spiritual version of yourself. You have your physical in the 3-dimensional, and then you have your spiritual placed on top of each other. You're already in the 12. But jumping from 6, you get to 7, right? 7 is that mind, body, spirit. 8, you have turned that sideways. You have the infinity. You're making this into your cycles, your loops. That also includes the Ouroboros. Now, the Ouroboros is very interesting when we're in the 8, because the Ouroboros, you have kind of the one where it's either eating its tail, or the one that is coming out and it's not quite eating its tail. There's a very big differentiation, because one is a spiral, the other is a cycle, and looping yourself back onto it. So coming back to the original thought, coming back to the actions. Are you cycling back that action, or are you spiraling yourself up into the next dimension? And then you look at the 9, because it goes from 8 to 9, and 9 is the destruction. This is where everything then is destroyed to get you back to 0, to start the next creation, the next version of yourself. This is how reality is operating. This is also like bringing in some alchemical terms into that, hermetic principles. You can go from 10, you have 11, 12. So if we jump to 12 even, 12, you get the 12 days of the week, 12 days of the week. I mean, 12 months of the year. And 12s are all over the place. Even taking you back to AA, they have the 12 steps. But there's the hidden 1. Why is there the hidden 1? And it's 13. They say, oh, lucky 13 or not lucky 13. If you look right back to the fact you get 12, you're that center point. The 13 is a center point. So if you're imagining the 12-pointed star, you see all of that. Right in the center is the circumpunct. you are that center point, taking you right back to the zero pointed reality, the void. I hope that made a lot of sense to you guys. I try and explain things that this world is operating as a mechanic. And I am saying when you start to journal and you start to write your life down and write down what kinds of habituations you are doing, it gives you a whole new reflection of where you are. It brings you power to be able to allow you to transcend yourself. When you watch the astrology, you will know, holy crap, okay, we have 6 planets going into retrograde. What does that mean? Oh, it's a full moon. Why do they call lunatic, to be very, very aware that you can be very highly emotional. If every one of your cellular structure or every one of your cells and molecules is made up of 80 to 90% water, you are highly affected by the moon cycles, but you do not have to be, because this is your reality. But as you're navigating this, it can feel very much like you are very affected by that external. So this is why today it is such an awesome day to share this of what that is to balance. With that, I would say, create your reality for your perfect future of what you actually want to have and see. It goes beyond the energy of money. That's a 3-dimensional reality. Self-love, creating a world filled with love. That is what I believe we are all creating. That's why no matter how wicked the person appears to be in your life, they still have that same intended drive. However, duality operates it with both the light and the dark, the good and bad. It's none of that. Like Willow says, there's 3 sides to every coin. So I'm going to take a break on saying that and read some of your comments. So I am proud of how far I have come. My strength of mind is strong. My body is taking a while to catch up, but it will. Yes. Yes. It's that mind, body, spirit. It's like a flexible mind equals a flexible body. A flexible body also equals a flexible mind. It will catch up. And you're doing so awesome, Sammy. I love you. I love you. Yes. Willow, hello. I love you. Glad you're here. I stopped drinking alcohol a few years ago. I don't really miss it. Oh, good. Good. Alcohol is a funny medicine, man. I don't miss alcohol. I would tell you that I had one point, so I haven't had any real, well, I can't say any real alcohol. For 6.5 years, I had not a single drop of alcohol. And after I was talking for quite some time on the transcension of alcoholism, if you will, and what I had figured out with Alcoholics Anonymous, I had somebody present me an alcoholic beverage, and it felt very, very like I was supposed to drink this alcohol and experience this for myself. All of the things the person was saying, like, what, do you think you'll die if you have this? All of the things I used to say in AA, this person was spatting back to me, and I was like, no, I don't actually. I actually know that I wouldn't, and I know this about myself, and I know that about myself, and so in many ways, having ultimate respect of this medicine. It was also a blue beverage that is like speaking your truth. So the color of it, the glass said Bud Light. So it was like my friend was bringing me something that would bring me light, like looking at this old shadow state of mine. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then there was 7 different alcohols within that. And my body, oh, dude, there was so much with the 7. And so I had 4 gulps of alcohol, and I felt the buzz. I found, the games we were playing, I got worse at, and all this kind of stuff. But I was very grateful that I had made that decision. It felt like I had liberated myself from being fearful. Like I know that I had been carrying fear behind it, and it was like when I went skydiving and jumping out of the plane, and I did it, and it was the next day that Zach was driving driving me, and he then brings up, he's like, oh, do you feel like having any alcohol? It was like kind of a test. He was like, oh, would you like a drink or something today? Or I don't remember his exact words, and I was like kind of taken aback, and I was like, no, like no, like it was the weirdest thing he could have said. And then he like literally pulls the car over, and he looks at me and he goes, well, congratulations, you're no longer an alcoholic. And I thought, oh wow, how profound was that? Like I had not realized that in many ways I had still been identifying myself, which meant that I had been identifying myself still with the spirit, and so with the spirit, and that's also what they call alcohol. It's good old Al Ghul is what I like to call him. So I'm glad to hear, Sammy, that you have stopped drinking. I think that really when you go on trying to heal that body, alcohol, like having creating imbalance, you know how alcohol can make you very wobbly. It's like even healing that body, it's easier to fall and a bunch of other aspects too. So there's lots of levels of why that probably good old Al Ghul needed to leave your life at that time. So cool. Oh, whoa, Angela. Is this Angela in here? Well, hello, Angela. Very, very glad that you're here. Kiss, kiss to you. For more details on Jen's awesomeness, please watch Expanded Understanding episode 23, Jen Twilly the Magnificent. This has been a public service announcement. You're so awesome, Erin. I love you. I love you so much. Oh, man. You guys are so great. For the more detailed love story between Jen and Zach, watch Expanded Jen Twilly the Magnificent. This has been another public service announcement. You guys are so funny and so fun. I can't even express to you how grateful I am. Well, I mean, I hope that I'm expressing that. I hope that, like, through telling you this, through saying everyone that I ever loved pretty much left my life, and everyone that is coming into my life is just so profoundly awesome and so profoundly important to this journey. And I love you. I love you so much, and you're so fun. Like seriously, and that was it. Like learning how to have fun and the laughter and the joy, because I feel like there was this point where I just got so serious and I forgot how to laugh and how to joke, and even like there was so long that I just only talked to Zach, and it's wonderful as that is. I found that my own voice. Oh, look who's come. The fly. We're bringing in the fly for meditation today. Like it's like I want to hang out right here, right on that. Oh, dude, that's so funny. Dude, the fly is like actually a super powerful medicine, guys, and we are actually gonna. Yes, I honor you, and we will bring you in. So. Yeah, I honor you guys, and I love you, and I love, this journey is so rad. It is a beautiful story. Aw, yeah, Sammy. Aw. You guys are awesome. Yeah, when it comes to my relationships now, is I do not. Yeah, he wants to be on my third eye. Of course you do. Of course you do. I know it's a great place to hang. I don't identify my relationship. Most people seem like they want to, so they'll be like, oh, that's Jen's boyfriend or whatever it is, and I don't identify the relationship. I'm here to love, and I put no bounds on that, and I just want nothing more than the people that I'm with and to have in my life to do what it is that they love and whatever that journey looks like, and I really want them to be here with me, and for that to sustain and happen is I make myself into the person that people want to be around and that people love, and that is because I am around somebody that I love and want to be around. And so, yeah, biggest thing is, love yourself. You tamed the shrew, but can you take the bull? We'll see, Willow. There's a reason that the bull has been coming in. You know, it is not beating yourself up, rewriting it, and retraining your cellular structure, talking about affirmations that you really, truly do believe. If you do not love yourself, let's say, and you know that, telling yourself that you love yourself is still only enforcing the liar. But doing affirmations that you do believe, like knowing that you are doing the best you can and you are only getting better. is a great affirmation, because you are doing the best you can. And if you aren't in that moment, then you find the way to do that. You find the way to want you more and want that journey more. And that is how you tame the shrew. I love you too, Zach, very much. I love you. You're strong to own up to your shadow, which is like the hardest thing to do, Jen. Oh, Michael, hello, welcome. It is. It is very strong. And I say we all have that strength, and you are not alone. And I today I just want to stand in that, and I want to stand in the non-sugarcoating truth, what it is to be authentically me. And that's where I learned that too. There's still some parts I imagine I'm still a little rough around the edges. But again, there's always more shadows to do. I am at the highest versions though when I am being kind and caring to myself. One thing that I still do is it's like having my seizures. I found that eating was super crucial. That I'm the type of person that will wait and wait and wait and wait to eat. And this is just not kind to myself. And I really actually need to have food by a certain time, or I get real kind of wonky within my mind. And it really gets much harder and more difficult to navigate. And when I do that, this is not me showing myself self-love at all. And then it ends up affecting those that I love in my reality. I get more anxious and more short and more like rapid with my movements and not paying as close attention. And so it's important for me to replenish my energy. So there is still, like, this is that journey to self-love. So there's still aspects, you guys, and there will be. But I'm telling you, like, I met all of the worst, like, hardest ones so far. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And don't be afraid. And you're not alone. You're not alone. And Michael, welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're piping in. I love that you love her, Zach. Oh, yeah. You know, like there was this point before I sold everything, but I believe that I had made the decision to do it. And I remember just coming downstairs and like telling Zach, you know, like my definition of success, if I had, but was to define my what success actually meant on a worldly level, that I had done it. I had done it. I had the house, I had the car, I had the, you know, all the things, the job, you know, all the stuff. And it was more of the woohoo, you know, it was not exciting. It wasn't the aspect that I thought. But I remember on this journey at this very particular point that Zach looked right at me and he said that he loved me and that he saw me and he was going in there to get me. And I knew, like, if you look back on my pictures, you can see how my eyes, you know, I couldn't even open them like pretty much all the way. There's these uncoverings, but that I knew that he could see me and I knew that there was more to me in there. And I am so grateful that I did. I attracted a man that could show me how to do that and help navigate and not be afraid of the shadows, not be afraid of the monster under the bed, to be so profoundly in love with his own self and proud of like all of the self-esteem aspects and his brilliance that he had built and stood upon, that I knew he could help me. And I had never experienced that in my life. The other thing is that Zach is literally the most honest person I have ever met in my life. He just doesn't lie. When I, like even through him falling in love with someone else, like at times where I'm sure he did not want to tell me certain aspects, he still did. And there's also times where you want to be in self-avoidance, or the people that are perceived your loved ones, and you think, no, just tell me I look beautiful today or something, you know, like some kind of those white lies where some people will say, oh, those are okay. Zach doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He's like, well, you asked, you know, and here's where you are. And that was hard for a while because I don't do well with criticism, and I'm learning to do better with criticism and on a daily basis. And so not having this sugarcoating or those white lies was very profound to learn about. So, but yet at the same time, speaking your truth is vital through this process, no matter what. And I can't even tell you how grateful I am to be able to learn from that. So, yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm thankful for all that you have been through, the person that you are, and all the wisdom that you share. Oh my gosh, guys. I love all of you guys too so much. What Willow said. Powerful information. Oh, Gina, you're in here today. How was the beach? I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see you in here. Yeah, I want to bring you this. It is powerful information, guys. It is. It is, and I get that, at a new level today, and that I think through all of that, like it's helpful for me to be able to stand in that space and be like, holy shit, look at what I did. And when you talk about the past things, it's like, look at what I created, and look at what it is creating for the future. And that's why even the fly that just keeps coming in, it really is speaking to that as well. Can you tame the vole? Can I tame the vole? Yes, of course. Of course I can. Can you tame the vole is the whole aspect. I'm doing this again. Control C. So to those that don't know, the animal totem for the vole is intuition and possible nose told if the yard was safe. The vole, while destructive to plants, is quite the fertile rodent. It symbolizes both destruction and rebirth. Often we have to tear down. Oh yeah, I just broke it apart. Negative thought patterns or habits to move forward in our lives. Yeah, that's it. You know. And the taming is getting all of those cells working for you. As I had mentioned yesterday, we don't just hear from our ears, you guys. Like our senses that we are building here. Sound, this is why I love the sound that we bring in. But with every cell being 80% water, it literally, like vibration is communicated through the water. This is why when you have your water, you talk to your water. I love you. I'm grateful. Anything you need help with, like there's power within that, but your cells are also that. And so be careful of what you're listening to, what you're having in your life. And this is how you get it. You get all of those cells working for you. I told you about my weight loss journey, of even the journey of trying to get myself to look in the mirror and learning to love myself 10 years in the future and coming back to the now, and then looking at where I wanted to be and yada, yada. And next thing you know, bing, bang, boom, 70-pound weight loss. And here we are. You know, it is tame the vole. That's what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And we are both destroyers and creators. So you gotta destroy to make room for your new creations. Yeah. Can you tame the vole? Jen says, yes, of course I can. Can you? Oh, that's so funny. Yes, you can. That's what I'm saying. Yes, you can. And you can tame all of those things, and not even just tame it. I mean, bring the vole in. Bring in the vole's intuition of what yard you should be going into and what yard you shouldn't, or who's allowed in your yard and who's not allowed in your yard. Destructive to plants, or is quite the fertile rodent. You know, what are you bringing about the fertility? Destroying and the plants? Yeah, I'll talk about that. I will tell you that there is a certain aspect, well, very much Mother Earth. The plants are going through the same thing. When you go and do ayahuasca in the jungles, you will see that there is an agenda within this plant as well. Many people will come back and be like, oh, great Mother Ayahuasca. And I made my God too small. I said that. I made my God too small. There's more there. But like also the feminine spirit. And there's also with her, she'll also be like, ooh, you must fertile like the earth. And people will come back and be like, we need to plant gardens missions and do all this stuff for the earth, save the earth, save the earth. And so there's agendas with the spirit, and with any of the plants, they have them. And also, if you're not minding your own thoughts, I think that even standing by plants, they can implant things. Implant. There's a reason that we use the words we do. So yeah, there's parts that I'm totally going about in the destruction. Gosh, I keep forgetting. I should pull this song up and link it here at some point. And Zach, if you're still listening, you'll know the artist that I'm talking about. But he's a hip hop artist, and he talks about how that you became the boards for the floors for the warships, and built the warships or something like that. And all of a sudden I started to like uncover where I'm like, wait, the trees, they were also involved in this. And then it just started to expand even farther. And so, I mean, I have ultimate love and respect, and we're raising the consciousness of everything, you guys, not just the humans, just everything, And it is really rad. So the bowl, the destruction and the fertility, and we're bringing about more. And what I want to fertilize and what I want to make grow is the concept of falling in love with the idea of falling in love with more falling in love, you guys. And I love that. So, it's pretty rad. What else do I want to say to that? Yeah, please. I very much care about you guys. My platform that we are creating together here is speaking to where we're at. If you're having a shitty moment and a shitty time, share it, man. This is how we let it out. We see where we're at. I remember when Zach was telling me that there was times where I just needed to tell him to shut the fuck up. I was like, oh my God, I never talked to anyone like that, And this is where then the floodgates come off, and I didn't realize that I was untrained with speaking these negative things, and then I had to work on that and build that for myself and be able to learn how to not do it. And how I then embodied the one stepmother that screamed everything in her life, and I just embodied these things. And now ultimately I would say, like, everyone in my life, whether it was my parents, like, I release you, the perceived terrible things that could have been going on in my life. Like, honestly, they gave me gifts all over the place of what we're actually healing within the world, and why all of our stories are so similar. There is absolutely a reason for that. And so I am, like, super grateful you guys are here. Rooting is what I would say is very also helpful, like working through your chakra systems, getting those energetic centers working. It's a very, very helpful tool. Some of the process can definitely feel like you are going crazy, but crazy is just a perspective. I mentioned about, like, even schizophrenia. All of us have many voices in our head. We have many things operating inside of there, but the biggest thing we want to train is the fact that you are the governor, and there is also an observer that happens, so that you are able to observe what is happening and then govern all of those aspects of yourself, so that you can balance and not have to do those things anymore. I appreciate you and your show and your honesty so much. Beautiful day at beach. Still driving back now. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you had a beautiful day at the beach, Gina. And I'm, well, enjoy your drive. I think it's so refreshing to get to the water or play in nature. There's just something so powerful with it. And when you play with nature, nature loves to play with you. If you've not ever had the experience, play with the wind. Call in the wind. Wind is fun to play with. There's so many layers of nature. I'm so grateful that I went and I lived outside in nature. I remember my family would be like, oh, she's homeless. And I'm like, I'm not homeless. I'm right here. My home is right where I'm at. And I never perceived that I didn't have a roof over my head. Somebody had bought me a car. Look at this. Now I have this over my head. You know, what am I going to do with this energy? This is amazing. Like a brand new car. Like, you know, who does that? So in my life, that happens. And I am grateful to you for Maria and the whole Brooks family. Thank you. And just, get out in nature and play in it and experience it. And I'll tell you, it is very powerful medicine. Root yourself to this area or this planet. Just stopped by to say hi, and I like the video. I have family visiting, so haven't been able to catch up. Love you, Jen, and love you all expanded family. Jasmine, I'm so glad that you stopped by, and I love you very much. And if you're still here, or like, what is the time on this currently? 5:28. Okay. I might message you if you're not on here, so you listen. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yesterday, or the last 2 days, you shared about, the owls that came to you, and then also the following day when we did the owl meditation where you ended up like saying, I'm letting go of my brother, and then you shared the story about how the owl that had followed your brother around, your brother ended up leaving, and then later you found the owl that died. And then came the process where you're here speaking in a very powerful platform, and also to yourself on that ability to let that go. These owls were coming in and allowing that process to transpire. And I want to honor you and thank you for sharing your animal medicine experience. Letting go looks like all sorts of different things. When people say, let it go, it's not just like snap your fingers and it's gone. We have so many different aspects of how we do that. And, you know, being in the jungles, they brought in the purging aspect in the different medicines out there for me, where it can look like throwing up. It can look like crying. It can look like shitting. It can look like a whole slew of burping and farting. All of that is like you actually letting go. So I would say, Jasmine, it's very, very cool to have you come in and share the power of the medicine, and then also showing how, even though it felt very, very uncomfortable, that you ended up reaching out for help. You got information that came to you, and you cleared your space, and you took your power back within it. These animals are here to help us and teach us that and shake things up and affect us in certain aspects and ways. And so it's cool. It's very, very cool that that you shared so openly with that. I'm not driving, obviously. I'm glad you're getting driven, so you can listen and write to us, Gina Jin, and also that maybe you can just sit back and enjoy the ride, enjoy the experience, and see the scenery, and be with us. It's really rad. I will go back and rewatch what I missed when I get home because I hate to miss a thing. Okay, well, you do that, Gina, and we love you, whether you're here in spirit or whether you're actually here, and you're so valued. So valued. I love that. Lupe Fiasco. Yes, Lupe Fiasco, you guys. That is here we go. You became the boards for the floors and the doors of the warships. Anthropomorphic. Isn't that so? That line is so rad. That was so life-changing for me, you guys. I was living outside in nature and just loving the trees and loving all these aspects. And then all of a sudden I started to uncover it. And then I was like, all right. And it just expanded to even more of the fact that we're raising the consciousness of the world together. And that includes all animals and creatures and trees and the Mother Earth. And so, yeah, I definitely would say when working with the plant medicines that they have their agendas within there. They operate like we do, and we're all connected. There's no separation. Like, you are the trees, and you are the dirt, and you are this bottle of water. You are me. You are you. We're all things. and we're none of no thing. That's the void, man. And it's really, really cool, and it's really cool to be together and have this journey. Thank you, Zach, for sharing that, and still also being here, because it's very, very, very powerful. Lupe Fiasco is really cool. I had not listened to hip hop growing up. Um, yeah, I literally fell into the world and them saying, "Oh, it's about rape and murder and blah 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 blah," and so I just like didn't listen until I got together with Zach. I listened a little bit. My younger sister did bring some rap hip hop to me, and one other person kind of did. But really, with Zach, I found that it was so hard for me to follow. Like what they were saying was so profoundly deep, but also so poetic. It was like listening to Shakespeare on drugs, and it was a training for my mind, like almost a meditation. One of my favorite hip hop artists is Aesop Rock. I don't know if any of you have heard Aesop Rock, but he is like definitely the Shakespeare of hip hop out there. And I could go on and on. Lupe Fiasco. Oh man, the list is just like blah, blah, blah. I'm so grateful for this music that was there. It's not surprising that it had been suppressed and tried to be made to look like something different. So I'm just grateful that it came and for learning and questioning everything. So if any of you aren't listening to hip hop out there, I highly recommend it. And Lupe Fiasco is great. And I mean, we could go on more if you would like to know that. And hip hop itself is being hip to your own hop, you know? And so I like that. I like that a lot. What else? Yeah, learning how to comprehend. And I don't stop. Like even with the weirdness of the things that are going on in the world, I've always just questioned everything. Like I don't watch the news. There are news clips that will pop up, and then I'll find things that are interesting. Like, ooh, that's an interesting name. Why is this person named this? And then you start breaking down the etymology of that name, and you start to look at, why would this person be in front of me delivering this message, or in front of the world right now and allowed to speak these things? And I just start digging, and not buy into the distractions that are being placed in front of us. I question everything, and so when it gets into the world stuff, like I don't know like how far I want to like go down all of that, is just look just really closely, start looking beyond. Everything is hidden in plain sight. Especially the strangeness of even like, oh, Jasmine is still here. It's just the strangeness of the distractions that they're putting out there. But I'm here if you ever want me to talk about it. I will. I'll share what I find. I have nothing to hide. I say question everything. But the answers are in that self-digging. And if you don't know much on etymology, I mean, you can just start with just the beginnings of just Googling that. Seven Bomar is an excellent one to learn from when it comes to etymology, and just learning how to break it down. I think he does a great job. But there is a lot of unseen forces at hand here, and the more work you do, the more you will see. I'm glad to share my experience. It's not just sharing for others, but it's been helping me as well to release. I'm so grateful for this platform and for all of you creating it and sharing. Good, Jasmine. I'm so glad you were still here. I love you too so much. Also, after you said all that about the owl, I found a spider in my sink. I love it. I love it so much. That is awesome. Weaving the webs for your future. And especially like with what you just said right there, that's exactly what it was weaving for you. And it's like the Indra's web or Indra's net. All of the perspectives are seen within it, and all things are possible. And I love that. The animal medicine, like I said, is right there with us all the time. Yesterday, I saw this spider. Well, I had seen these spiders by the river before, and they all looked very similar, but yet they had different butts. And I was like, it's weird. There's all these different, like, same spiders, but, like, different butts. And then all of a sudden, I realized when I saw it this other time, the second time I went to the river, that it was actually little babies on its back. Oh my gosh, it was the craziest spider. I saw like such novel things yesterday when we were at the river, from the the bumblebee beetle and the spiders on the back, and that and then even for Kala, seeing the little fly that looked like a bee as well. So yes, I would love to hear from any of you guys if you've seen any animal medicine out there. If there's any animals you would like to pull into our meditation today, I am going to definitely suggest that we pull the vole in. Thank you, Willow. I think the vole is a great medicine, and as we've gone along, I've brought it up many times. So many of us that are watching are now knowing what the vole animal medicine is. And I definitely want to bring in the fly as a totem today as well, which is a really, really good one. Is it this? Ooh. Hold on, guys. I didn't have it pulled up in the first play. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Reevaluation your thoughts about yourself. You are worth far more than you think. I like that. Let me copy this and put that out there. You are worth far more than you think. And here we go. Control V. Boop. Boop. It says, Sammy said, I mainly tune into listening to you guys. Much better for my health. Our world here is a better place to be. I love it. I love it. And Sammy, I'm so grateful that you're here. And this world is a much better place to be. I would agree with you. Fly meaning and messages, you guys. Much like the butterfly, fly symbolism is letting you know that quick and abrupt changes in your thoughts, emotions, and endeavors are afoot. Moreover, these rapid changes in all aspects of your life are happening now. Therefore, move quickly, even in unfavorable and uncomfortable conditions. Similar to the rabbit, fly meaning can also signify that an exponentially growing source of abundance is available for you now. Thus, the spirit animal dictates that you must use your keen eyesight to see the way. In other words, never give up. Alternatively, the fly symbolism could be reminding you that your persistence in reaching your goals will bear fruit sooner than later. Moreover, this will happen even if it means that you have to annoy others or be selfish for a while. In other words, you do have the ability to accomplish your goals. Like the koi fly totem this is the totem. Yeah. Nope. I think that was the good. Like, that's what I really want to bring in. And I love like letting you see, like, the butterfly is much like the fly, a butterfly fly. So there's the metamorphosis that it takes place also with the fly. If you think about the fly, it begins as a larva, just like a caterpillar starts as turning into that butterfly. So they go through a metamorphosis stage as well. Flies are amazing because the gazillion amount of eyes that they have. I know that they can be very annoying and seem disgusting, but they are not. They are actually very profound creatures, and honestly reconstructed, they are kind of cute with their like little noses that come up and stuff. But they can, like, pay attention, you know. So, you know, move quickly even in unfavorable and uncomfortable conditions. But fly meaning can also signify that exponentially growing source of abundance is available for you right now. Thus, the spirit animal dictates that you must use your keen eyesight to see the way. So don't give up. It's excellent. I think it's excellent to bring this in today. So reevaluate your thoughts about yourself. You are worth far more than you think. And as I was saying, like when I was going through that, not feeling good enough, not feeling worth it, and feeling like the person that was with me needed to be the one that validated that, it meant nothing until I could validate that for myself. And with that, I'm not really seeing anyone. Well, we had the blackbird from Sammy. I just remembered that. And then and then the vole and the fly. Does anybody else have anything that they want to pull in? I'm going to pull one animal card. Where are we at today as a group? Oh, yeah, this one's popping out right there. Oh, interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. Guess what it is really quick? Just see what you can see in your mind, and then I'll put it there. Okay. Oh, hard to see. It's a horse. It's not adjusting. But anyway, it was the horse. I like it. So, yeah, the horse is traveling dimensions. Here we go. Oh, yeah, this is a big one. This one was not pulled in contrary. This was actually pulled upright. So the horse's power. Mighty horse, power to run across the open plains or to bring the vision of the shields dancing in purple dream rain. Stealing horse is stealing power. Was a statement made frequently in historical Native America and a reference to the esteemed role which horse played in the native cultures. Horses have physical power and unearthly power. The shamanic practices throughout the world, horse enables shamans to fly through the air and reach heaven. Humanity made a great leap forward when horse was domesticated, a discovery akin to the fire. Before horse, humans were earthbound, heavy-laden, and slow creatures indeed. Once humans climbed on horse's back, they were as free and fleet as the wind. They would carry burdens for great distances with ease. Through their special relationship with horse, humans altered their self-concept beyond measure. Horse was the first animal medicine of civilization. Humanity owes an incalculable debt to horse and to the new medicine it brought. It would be a long walk to see one's brother or sister if horse had not welcomed the two-legged rider upon its back. Today we measure the capacity of engines with the term horsepower, a reminder of the days when horse was an honored and highly prized partner with humanity. I'm also thinking how there's a horse fly, and we're bringing in fly. Dreamwalker, a medicine man, was walking across the plains to visit the Arapaho Nation. He carried with him his pipe, the feather tied into his long black hair pointed to the ground, marking him as a man of peace. Over the rise of a hill, Dreamwalker saw a herd of wild mustangs running toward him. Black Stallion approached him and asked if he was seeking an answer on his journey. Black Stallion said, "I am from the void where answers lives. Ride on my back and know the power of entering the darkness and finding the light." Dreamwalker thanked Black Stallion and agreed to visit him when sorry. Black Stallion agreed to visit him when his medicine was needed in the dream time. Yellow Stallion approached Dreamwalker next and offered to take him to the east where illumination lives. Dreamwalker could share the answers he found there to teach and illuminate others. Once again, Dreamwalker thanked Yellow Stallion and said he would use these gifts of power on his journey. Red Stallion approached, rearing playfully. He told Dreamwalker of the joys of balancing work and heavy medicine with the joyful experiences of play. He reminded Dreamwalker that he could better hold the attention of those he taught when humor was integrated with the lesson. Dreamwalker thanked him and promised to remember the gift of joy. Dreamwalker was nearing his destination. The Arapaho Nation was close at hand. White Stallion came to the front of the herd. Dreamwalker mounted White Stallion's back. White Stallion was on the message carrier for all the other horses and represented wisdom and power. This magnificent horse was the embodiment of the balanced medicine shield. No abuse of power will ever lead to wisdom. The White Stallion, you, Dreamwalker, have made this journey to heal a brother in need, to share the sacred pipe, and to heal the Mother Earth. You have the knowledge through humility that you are an instrument of great spirit. As I carry you upon my back, you carry the needs of the people on yours. In wisdom, you understand that power is not given lightly, but awarded to those who are willing to carry responsibility in a balanced manner. With great responsibility comes great power, you guys, and with great power comes great responsibility. Dreamwalker, the shaman. had been healed by the visit of the wild horses and knew that his power in coming to the Arapaho was to share these gifts with them. In understanding the power of horse, you may see how to strive for a balanced medicine shield. True power is wisdom found in remembering your total journey. Wisdom comes from remembering pathways you have walked in another person's moccasins. Compassion, caring, teaching, loving, and sharing your gifts. Talents and abilities are the gateways to power. I love that. I love, love, love. Oh, okay. All right, Willow. I see it. I see it. So we have the horse. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Exclamation point. The spider. I believe that's the last one in the book, actually. It is 43. It's the weaving. It's the weaving. Okay. Here we go. Spider, weaving webs of delight, weave me a peaceful world, carrying creation in your web, waiting to be unfurled. Spider was the web that brought humans the first picture of the alphabet. The letters were part of the angles of her web. Deer asked Spider what she was weaving and why all the lines looked like symbols. Spider replied, "Why, dear? It is time for Earth's children to learn to make records of their progress in their Earth walk." Dear answered Spider, "But they already have pictures and show through symbols the stories of their experiences." "Yes," Spider said, "but Earth's children are growing more complex, and their future generations will need to know more. The ones to come will remember how to read the petroglyphs." So it was that Spider wove the first primordial alphabet, as she had woven the dreams of the world that had become manifest. Spider's dream of the physical world had come to fruition millions of years before. Spider's body is made like a number 8, consisting of 2 lobe-like parts connected at the waist and 8 legs. Spider is a symbol for the infinite possibilities of creation. Her 8 legs represent the 4 winds of change and the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. I also believe they have 8 eyes, most of the spider species too. So 8 is that, very powerful. And again, instead of doing the loop of the cycle, but like the spiral of that Ouroboros, of that infinity. That kind of came to me while I was reading that. Spider weaves the webs of fate for those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. This is similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world and never see beyond the horizon into the other dimensions. And I love that, because the reality, these are the emotional lenses that I'm talking about. When you enact things like jealousy, judgment, gossip, these things actually put emotional lenses on, and you do not see your reality for what it is. It creates an illusion. And we're trying to break that illusion so that you can see the prism that you are creating. The web of fate also represents a wheel of life, which does not include any alternatives or solutions. It is typically human to get caught in the polarity of good or bad, fortune, without realizing that we can change it at any time. If we are not decisive enough about changing our lots in life, we may end up being consumed by our fears and limitations. Spider is the female energy of the creative force that weaves that beautiful designs of life. Her web has hundreds of intricate patterns which catch the morning dew. If Spider has dropped from her web into your cards today, she may be telling you to create, create, create. Look for new alternatives to your present impasse. She can also be warning you that you are coming too close to an entangling situation. Spider could be asking you to use a journal to write out and review your progress. If you do this, you will not... See, she's saying to journal too, guys. If you do this, you will not forget how you are creating a new or different phase in your life. Spider brings a message of a different kind when she sees you becoming a bit too involved in the weaving of your life, plans to notice opportunity at the outskirts of your web. If this is the case, Spider gets your attention so that you notice that something you have woven has borne fruit. Congratulations, Spider caught you just in time before you miss the opportunity on the edge of your web of reality. The most important message from Spider is that you are an infinite being who will continue to weave the patterns of life and living throughout time. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan. And for the... Oh, my throat chakra stopped me there. That's good. That's good. We'll go there. That is perfect. Perfect. All right. So we got the spider, the horse, the fly, the blackbird. This is a lot. This is a lot of them in there. I like it. And the vole. I knew. I'm like, which one am I forgetting? I like it. I like it. Okay, so some powerful medicine. Get my things ready. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. So we're going to begin. So if you can find a comfortable spot to sit or lie down and just begin to breathe and see where you're at today with your breath. You're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. How are you breathing today? Today's meditation, not only are we going to call in some very powerful animals, we're also going to work on rooting and bringing this information back down to the earth. The sounds of the root chakra is the sound of So it's going to sound something like this. And at any point, you can follow along with that sound or throw it in throughout your meditation. And in your mind's eye, if you could imagine the bottom of your feet having a wiring system coming out and connecting to the earth. And your wiring system is red, the color of the root chakra. When we work on our chakras, it is as above, so below. But when we get to the root and the base chakra, the meditation will pull in the sacral chakra, which sounds like ooh. Ooh. Ah, interesting. Ooh. And then the next, because once we go ooh to the root, we want to pull it back up. So today, we're going to pull it back up with an om. With the om, it covers all 7 chakras, pulling it back up to the crown. So it sounds like om. At the end, it has a to it. And if you try that, you will find that that sound resonates right above your head. So the circle in pattern will sound like Om. Again. Very good. Come back to your breath. And how are you breathing now? Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. With your inhalation, breathe in the crystalline light. And when you breathe out through your nose, slough off any dense energy out through your feet. So breathe in through your nose, the crystalline light, and breathe out through your nose, imagining it going out through your feet. Anything that is negatively affecting you or the dense energy that is blocking your energetic system. Beautiful work. Now place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And at any point, if you feel that your tongue has slipped towards more of your teeth, bring it back to the center, to the roof of your mouth. Generally, when you slide forward with your tongue, you might find that you get lost in some other thought. And while you're meditating with your eyes closed, if you would like to, just look up just slightly towards the third eye and rest your eyes there. So continue to breathe, and I'm going to cycle the chakras for you now. And now within your space, notice how you are sitting within the darkness. This is the void. And above your head, in your mind's eye, draw a triangle. And then take the points of this triangle and connect them below your feet. And then draw another triangle below your feet. And then connect the points of this triangle above your head. And now you are sitting within your Merkaba. Perhaps you make the lines red, since we are rooting today and paying special attention to the fact that we need to stay grounded as we navigate the shadowy path of our hearts. I love you. You are kind. You are generous. And you are so important. Inside your Merkaba, there's a box walk over to that box and open it up. Inside this space, we want love to be here. So any perceivable pains, sorrows, anything that could hinder the process of loving yourself, place them inside of the box. Take them off like a cloak, like a mask. You do not have to hide from you here. Here in this space, you are the greatest and most magnificent version of yourself. And I love you, and I see you. And look again. If there's anything that might identify you, go ahead and take that off too, and place that inside the box. And if you are looking at yourself and you see your meat suit, this body, go ahead and take that off too and place that inside the box. Here, in this space, you are the highest version of your spiritual self. You are the ultimate of your light body. You are the greatest version of you. I see you. And go ahead and close that box and leave it there. And if at any point you want to go back and reopen that box and pull out anything from it, please go back and get it, because it's your box. But this box holds what no longer serves you, what identifies you, you are more than that. Come back to your breath and your seated position inside your Merkaba, or the lying position, or the amorphous blob position. You have no body. And just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And above you, your whatever creature that you see yourself as, above your head, you have a wiring system. And this wiring system is clear. Your clear crystalline light of your DNA, of your helixing DNA, coming up through the head, up through your Merkaba. And up above you is the moon. Do you see it? It's only half full and half dark, just like you. And connect your wires to her. It is through this that we will learn our balance. As an example, you are neither the light nor the dark nor the moon, but it is all here for you to learn. And breathe it in. Breathe in the wires from your crown, from your head. And breathe it in into your third eye, into your mind. See the moon inside your head, the balance of it. Today, we are learning to walk that middle line. And then breathe it in some more and breathe it deeper down your throat and balance your throat. of speaking your truth and loving yourself there, the authentic you. And breathe it farther down into your heart, where the moon is now shining, half full, half dark, in perfect balance, just like you. And I love you. I love you, it says. If you want, go ahead and give it a hug and thank it for it being here and helping share its energy with you. And breathe it down into your solar plexus, into your gut, into your belly, and circle it around. Inside this place, inside your belly, where you learn the balance of your anxieties, the balance bringing you the instinct that's necessary to navigate your reality, the ability for you to know the next right step, the balance of the emotional and the logic, the light and the dark. And breathe it down farther into your why am I struggling? Sacrum. And breathe it down into your orange energetic space, into your sacral chakra, at your waist, at your pelvis. Breathe it in and see that moon, helping you balance your fears and washing away your worries. It is here to show you there is nothing to worry about. It's a perfect balanced state. And breathe it down your legs and down and out your feet, down through your wiring systems to the earth. Share with the earth the moon and the balance of the moon. Together they're a synchronistic unit. The ebbs and flows and tides alike. Beautiful, you guys. Beautiful. Come back to your mouth. Where is your tongue? If it is shifted, place it back on the roof. And breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. And come back above your head to the flying delight. In comes the blackbird with all of its knowledge and intuition and intelligence. There the blackbird is, and it's singing, singing, singing the most joyous song. And connect your wires to it, your crystalline wires. And breathe it in through your crown, and breathe it in through your third eye, inside your mind. And here it sings. It sings its song. And breathe it down into your throat. And here it sings its truth, showing you that there is a way to always tell the truth. And breathe it into your heart and into your solar plexus. And here is where it sings. Yes. Yes, it sings. Sings you its joy. Sings you its freedom while it flies. Can you fly with it? How far in the sky can you fly? Can you see down below the earth? The world below your feet? Fly down with it. Fly down into the sacral chakra, bringing its intelligence within that space, the knowledge necessary to navigate your reality. It loves you here. This relationship is good. Hear its song there too. And breathe it down and fly on its back down farther through your legs. Notice it's red on its wings. It's flying down to the earth with you, down your legs and down your feet, down through your wires to the earth. And here is where it flies free. Here is where it's grounded. And anytime you need it, it is right here. It's inside of you and outside of you and all around, expanding out through your auric field, out into the universe, and right back into your heart. I love you, it sings. Thank you for being here, Blackbird. Thank you. And there it is. There's the little vole now. Let's bring the vole in. Let's do it, guys. Both the creation and the destruction and the balance too. The necessary intuition. Invite it into your backyard where it's safe. Into you, into your heart. Into your space. Breathe it in, and allow it to play. The vole is the cutest little creature. It looks like a mouse and maybe like a gerbil with just the brown fur and the cute round ears that are furry. And it has a short little tail. And what a short, fun little tale it has to tell. And it says, I love you. And I come to help you dig. I come to help you show the balance of what needs to be destroyed to help you know that it is time to create. Create, create, create. It's beautiful. Beautiful within your space. It too has a song. It has a song to play. Let's play it now. Thank you, Vole, for coming. Thank you for being in this space. Breathe it in. Allow it to keep and stay and play. And with your next exhalation, breathe out part of its essence straight into the earth and then out into your auric field, surrounding yourself with its beautiful medicine, inside and out. It is you. It is here to help you. Thank you, Full. And now bring your attention over to the field. Do you see the field to your right? There's a horse there. Actually, several horses. One's white. One's blonde. And one is black. It's the black stallion coming in. Coming towards you in excitement. And you're walking towards it. It's beautiful. Mighty horse, power to run across the open plains, or to bring the vision of the shields dancing in the purple dream rain. Mighty horse, power to run across the open fields, or to bring the vision of the shields dancing in purple dream rain. Invite the horses in. Breathe them in. They bring you the power to ride upon their backs, to travel the different dimensions. Their love, their hearts are huge. Allow them to come into your heart and into your mind and into your throat and into your solar plexus and into your sacral chakra and down into your root. Ride upon their backs. They are powerful and have been here for a long time and teach you much about this journey and allow you to go farther. They bring the information that already is inside of you. They're here to teach and remind you that they are you. All the parts of you. So powerful, the horse. Thank you for being here and coming with all of your might. And now we come to the webs that have been weaving around you, the webs of the spider. Spider weaving webs of delight, weave me a peaceful world, carrying creation in your web, waiting to be unfurled. See the spider and its medicine. It is here. She is here to help you weave your delights. She is here and has been here all along to show you all the connective tissues of Indra's net. She has been part of this story and this journey. She comes with all her powerful might and bite to bring about the balance of this infinite light. She brings about the sight and brings vision. Breathe her in. Connect your wires to her from your crown and attach her. What does she look like? Is she black like a widow? Does she have the hourglass? Is she brown like the wolf spider? Maybe long legs like the daddy long leg? So many different versions of the spider, all of them so unique. We're never more than 7 feet away from any arachnid at any time. She is everywhere, in our realities inside and out. Thank you for being here and weaving this creation of our futures. And today we choose positivity. Today we choose self-love. And I love you. And I care about you. And for this, we now weave our delight. Breathe her in from your crown to your third eye. Breathe her in down your throat. Weave her in and breathe her in to your heart. And weave her in all the way down into your solar plexus in your belly. Building the webs. And breathe her in down into your sacral chakra and down into your root. And breathe her into your auric field and out into the universe. And breathe her back in. So beautiful, the creations you're making by being here with yourself and with us. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for helping and utilizing this medicine. Thank you for creating. And we go on. I love you. Thank you for being here, Spider. But now we have the fly. He's been buzzing around, asking to be invited. Reevaluate your thoughts about yourself. You are worth far more than you think, the fly says, as he buzzes around. It brings about a massive amount of eyesight, seeing in all areas, in all directions. It brings you the metamorphosis of your being in your vessel as you learn to navigate the balancing act of you in your life. How great are you? How loved are you? Very, very loved. And breathe in the fly. And connect your wires. This is a powerful medicine coming to bug you saying, love you, love you, love you. Every time it lands upon your head or your arm, it says, love you. And breathe it in. Down through your mind and down through your throat and down into your heart and into your gut. And breathe it down into your sacral chakra and down back into the earth. Thank you for flying in and bringing us such powerful, powerful medicine. You were medicine from the point you were born, just like the maggot is a very powerful medicine too. I love you. Reevaluate your thoughts about yourself, it says. You are worth far more than you think. And breathe it in and out into your auric field and out into the universe. So beautiful, it says. And then breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Where are you now? What are you feeling now? And for this, we play one more time with the power of the flute. Play with your critters. Clear your mind and see what they have to say. Thank you, horse. Thank you, blackbird. Thank you, fly. Thank you, vole. Thank you, spider. How do they commune? As I play, you now play too. What did they all have to say? Did you play? Thank you for being here. Thank you all for coming in all forms, in all places, in all aspects of you. Take a moment to come back to yourself and sitting in this space. And remember that box. You may go over to that box and pull out anything you might want to take back with you. Or leave that negative behind and not bring it to this next place with you. And let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You might like your meat suit. You might want to put that back on. Maybe the original one you created, the one before the trauma. I like that one too. You're beautiful and so loved. And please take your right hand and place it over your heart, and the left over your heart or over your right hand. And give yourself love with your giving hand. Give yourself the love that you so deserve. You are powerful and magnificent and great and kind and imaginative and creative and filled with abundance. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now switch your hands and receive that love. Receive that love right back and circle it around in your space and breathe it in and breathe it out. It's green and bright and grand and great, just as you. And now take it, that whole ball of beautiful energy, and root it down to the earth and plant your solid feet to the ground and stand tall, that you are doing the work. And it can be fun. And it can be the grandest exploration of your life. And it comes down to a perspective. And it is yours. And I love you. And I am proud of you. I love you. Now please take your arms and wrap them around your body in a hug. And I too shall take my arms and wrap them around you. Thank you. I am grateful for you. You are awesome and a badass. I would not be right here if you weren't right here too. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for going on this journey. Thank you for allowing me this platform and coming to visit me and allowing me to continue to create the fun world around me and peering into what it looks like when you take the next indicated right step. We do this together. We are never apart. If you find yourself at any point struggling, just close your eyes and imagine me. And imagine the most brightest green laser beam of love light. And I connect it to you. You can utilize as much energy as you need and access. The access to my heart and to the healing energies and my bandwidth is spoken in the purest and true amounts of love. And I love you. And I love me. And it's rad that we're all here. And when you come back to yourselves, if at any point you need to evoke any of these creatures, you just say that. And you ask them to leave. You are the powerful being. You are the governor of your space. The things we invite in are here to help us, not hurt us. And as I say, you may either stay in peace or go in peace. And I love each and every one of you. And thank you for being here and listening to this journey that I am sharing with you. And thank you for sharing your journey with me. I kind of got choked up with the last bit of that. So funny. So many good emotions out there. I love you. If you enjoyed any part of this and you found it to be helpful, help raise the vibrations of your world and allow this platform to grow by liking and sharing this video. it is crucial that we get this information out there. So I love you. Um, yeah, share them with your groups, share them on your personal pages or wherever you can. I'm doing the same. And Zach and Aaron are coming up next. I love them very much. They're on at 8 o'clock. Yeah, you guys are rad. That was very good. Anything you had with your meditations, I'm always very interested to hear. So you can message me, share them here or tomorrow when we come back on. Anytime you could be like, oh, I experienced this. I would love to hear about your meditations and those experiences. Thank you to anyone new that came to the platform today. Thank you to everyone that has been here all along. You are valued and you are loved. And I really wish you a beyond outstanding day, night, morning, whatever time it is, wherever you're at, whatever moment it is that this is coming to you. You're awesome. And I love you. Love you. And I will look forward to seeing you in here again tomorrow. I love you.